Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Vatsalji Patel from Civil Engineering Department working at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center Navsari. Today we are going to discuss about geodetic surveying and our today's topic is basics of triangulation. So be ready with your pen and paper. So let's start with the introduction first. The plane surveying is that type of surveying in which Earth's surface is considered as a plane and the curvature of the Earth's surface is ignored, while the geodetic surveying is that type of surveying in which the curvature of the Earth is taken into account and it generally extends over large areas. So, if we talk about geodetic surveying, the object of the geodetic surveying is to determine very precisely the relative or absolute positions on the Earth's surface of a system of widely separated points, say horizontal control points. These points can be further used for more detailed survey such as locating secondary and tertiary sets of control points. Such points are known as triangulation stations. Relative positions of these horizontal control points are obtained in terms of bearings or angles and length of the lines joining the point. The absolute positions are determined in terms of latitude, longitude and elevation above mean sea level. So let's see the difference between plane surveying and geodetic surveying. So in plane surveying, the Earth's surface is considered as plane. In geodetic surveying, the Earth's surface is considered as curved surface. In plane surveying, the curvature of the Earth is ignored. In geodetic surveying, the curvature of the Earth is taken into account. In plane surveying, line joining any two stations are considered to be straight line, and in geodetic surveying, line joining any two stations are considered to be curved line. In plane surveying, the triangle formed are considered as a plane, while in geodetic surveying, the triangle formed are considered as a spherical. In plane surveying, the angle of triangle considered as plane angle, and in geodetic surveying the angle of triangle considered as a spherical angle. And in plane surveying it is carried out for smaller area like less than 250 kilometers square, and in geodetic surveying it is carried out for large area, say area greater than 250 meters square. So this difference is very important for your examination. So be sure you remember each and every point, okay, because it is very important for your examination. Next is triangulation. So horizontal control usually consists of a combination of traverse and triangulation. For a small area, the horizontal control survey may consist of one or more connecting traverses. However, for large area, a horizontal control survey usually consists of triangulation. A horizontal control survey usually involves the measurement of horizontal angle and distances. The horizontal control in geodetic surveying is established by triangulation, trilation and precise traversing. Of the three, triangulation is the most popular method. Triangulation is preferred for hills and undulating areas since it is easy to establish stations at reasonable distances apart with intervisibility. Method of triangulation is more accurate as accumulation of errors in triangulation is less as compared to that of traversing. So if we talk about this, triangulation is the process of determining the location of a point by measuring angles to it from known points at either end of a fixed baseline rather than measuring distances to the point directly. The point can then be fixed as the third point of a triangle with one known side and two known angles. Triangulation can also refer to the accurate surveying of systems of very large triangles called triangulation networks. The network in triangulation consists of triangles and quadrilaterals in which one side or say which is called the baseline and all horizontal angles are measured. Knowing the length of one side and the three angles, the length of the other two sides of each triangle can be computed. Thus, triangulation may be defined as a process of measuring the angle of connected triangles formed by a number of stations marked on the surface of the earth is called triangulation. So let's see the principle of triangulation. So in triangulation, the entire area to be surveyed is converted or say is covered with a framework of triangles. In triangulation, one side and three angles of a triangle are measured. The length of the first line, which is measured precisely, is known as baseline. The basic principle of triangulation is that if the length and direction of one side and all three angles of triangles are measured precisely, the length and direction of the remaining two sides of triangle can be computed using the sine rule. So here you can see one image. So let us understand the principle of triangulation with the help of this figure. So here capital A, capital B and capital C are used to denote angles and small a, small b and small c are used to denote the lengths opposite these angles. Thus, if one length or say small a, which is here at the baseline, is measured and the angles say capital A, this angle, capital B, this and capital C are measured, then using the sine formula or say sine rule, we can say that small a upon sine A is equal to small b upon small a upon sine A is equal to small b upon sine B is equal to small c upon sine C. So this gives small b is equal to a small a sine b divided by sine A and c is equal to small a sine c divided by sine A. So this triangle can be extended by adding two lengths to any of the lengths of the base triangle according to figure. The three angles of the added triangles are measured and two unknown lengths are calculated from the sine formula with the help of the known length. By extending this process, for example, the measurement of the further interconnected triangles and using the computed lengths, a chain or network of triangles can be spread over the entire area. Now let's see the uses of geodetic survey, or you can say uses of triangulation system also. So triangulation may be used for following purposes, like to establish accurate system of horizontal control points for plane and geodetic surveys of large areas. Next, to establish accurate ground control points for aerial surveying, say photogrammetric surveying of large areas. Next, to find out accurate location of engineering works such as center lines, terminal points and shafts for long tunnels, center lines, piers and abutments for long span bridges over the rivers. Next, to transfer the control points across large bodies of water, for example, wide sea channels, rivers, etc. in hydrographic survey. Next, for deciding the direction of the movement of clouds. And lastly, to find out the size and shape of the earth by making observation for latitude, longitude, gravity, etc. So these are the uses of triangulation, or we can say uses of geodetic survey. Next is triangulation figures or system. So in triangulation, the system consists of a number of interconnected triangles. The apexes of the triangles are known as the triangulation stations, and the whole figure is called the triangulation figure or triangulation system. At certain stations, astronomical observations for azimuth and longitude are also made, which are called Laplace stations. So the arrangement of various triangles of a triangulation system is known as the layout of triangulation. The basic figures used in triangulation system or network are the triangle, the geodetic quadrilateral, and the polygon with a central section. So you can see its all arrangement in the figure. Okay. So this is the triangulation figures or system. So let's see the common figures or of triangulation system, or it is also known as the triangulation system. So it is mainly the single chain of triangle, double chain of triangle, braced quadrilaterals in chain, central triangles, polygons, gridiron system, and central system. So let's see the single chain of triangles first. So this form is suitable for narrow strips of land to be covered by the survey. This system is economical and rapid. When the triangulation consists of a narrow belt, such as a valley between two ridges, it usually consists of a chain of triangle. So you can see it in the image. So if we learn from this, in the chain of triangles, there is only route by which distances can be computed through the chain. For example, if this capital AB is the baseline, okay, so if capital AB is the baseline, the length of sides AC, which side AC, and BC can be computed from angles of triangle ABC. So this is only one route by which the length AC can be computed from the length AB. Once the length AC has been computed, the lengths CD and AD can be calculated from the triangle ACD. So we can see it here, triangle ACD. Okay. So the length CD becomes known length in triangle CD, and other lengths are computed. In this manner, the lengths are calculated progressively along the chain from the measured baseline AB to the last line GH, farthest from the baseline. Okay, so this is the single chain of triangle. So next is double chain of triangles. So it is used to cover large areas. When the width of the belt is large, this arrangement can be used. Figure shows a double chain of triangle. So you can see it here. It is the double chain of triangle. So this system can cover much larger area, but it has the same disadvantages mentioned for the single chain of triangle. So check bases are required to prevent the accumulation of errors. Next is braced quadrilaterals in chain. So it is used for hilly area. In this arrangement, there are 4 stations and 2 observed diagonals in each quadrilaterals. There is no station at the intersection of the diagonals. In fact, braced quadrilaterals consist of overlapping triangles. This system is most accurate as the number of checks available are more. This system is the best arrangement as it provides a means of computing the lengths of the sides using different combination of the side and angles. So you can see its image here. Okay, for example, the length CD, with length CD can be calculated by adopting the root of triangle ABC and ACD. Okay, so we have to take triangle ABC and ACD, these two triangles. So the length CD can also be calculated by adopting the root of triangles ABD and BDC. The other two possible roots are the triangles BAD and ADC, and also ABC and DBC. So one baseline and 8 angles are measured to calculate the lengths and diagonals of brace quadrilaterals. Most of the triangulation system use this arrangement. Next is centered triangles and polygons. This arrangement of triangulation is used to cover vast area extending in all directions. It gives very satisfactory results in flat areas. The centered figures generally are triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons or hexagons with central station. So you can see its image here at the bottom. So the centered station is a common vertex to all triangles. The system provides checks on the accuracy of the work, but generally it is not as strong as brace quadrilaterals arrangement. Also, the progress of the work is generally low because more settings of the instrument are required. So all these common figures of triangulation system are most important. Okay, so next is gridiron system. So the gridiron is used for countries which are quite vast. In this system, the primary triangulation is laid in series of chain braced quadrilaters which usually run in two approximately perpendicular directions, generally east-west and north-south, as you can see in the image here. Okay, so the distance between two chains may vary from 150 km to 250 km. The area left out between the parallel and perpendicular series of primary triangulations are covered by the secondary and tertiary triangulation systems. Gridiron system has been adopted by India, Australia, Spain, France and various other countries. Next is central system. This system is generally used for the survey of an area of moderate extent. The survey is extended from a base triangle or quadrilaters at the center of the area by adding figures in radial direction. So you can see its image here. Okay, so in this area in the figure are added by radial directions. So you can see it image here. So radially all the triangles are formed. So in this system the whole area of surveying is covered by a network of primary triangulation and has been adopted in United Kingdom and various other countries. So this theory is very important for your examination. So be sure you remember each and every common figures of triangulation system. Next is classification of triangulation systems. The classification of triangulation is based upon the degree of accuracy required. It depends upon the extent of the area to be surveyed, the length of the base, length of the sides and triangular misclosure. On the basis of accuracy and purpose, triangulation systems are classified as under number 1, first order or primary triangulation, second is second order or secondary triangulation, and third one is third order or tertiary triangulation. So let's see its detail. So if we talk about first order or primary triangulation, first order triangulation is the highest order triangulation and is carried out either to determine the Earth's figure or say shape and size of Earth's surface, or for providing the most precise control points to which secondary triangulation may be connected. The lengths of the sides of the triangle are large. The stations are precisely located 16 km to 150 km apart. Precise instruments are used for observations, and every precaution is taken in making linear, angular, and astronomical observations and in performing the reduction or say calculation. Next is second order or secondary triangulation. A second order triangulation is employed for running a second series of triangles by fixing points at close intervals inside the primary series of triangles. It provides control points closer than those of primary triangulation. It is connected to the primary triangulation station at various points. So this system of triangulation is of grade slightly lower than that of the primary triangulation. The extent of area covered is small and the sides of the triangle are also small. It consists of forming small, well-condensed triangles with less precise instruments. The instruments and the method used are not as precise as in first order triangulation. If a primary triangulation does not attain the required standard of the accuracy of that class, it may be classified as secondary triangulation. Next is third order or tertiary triangulation. This system of triangulation is used to provide control points fixed within the framework of secondary triangulation. This triangulation gives a set of control points which are normally used by agencies conducting engineering survey, for example, topographic surveys, hydrographic surveys, and other such projects where lower accuracy can be accepted. So, third order system of triangulation is of the grade lower than that of the secondary triangulation. The triangles are of the smaller size in comparison with the other two orders of triangulation. The equipment and methods used are of lower precision. This triangulation is also known as topo triangulation. Next is size of triangles. The length of the sides of the triangles depends upon many factors. It varies according to the order of triangulation and topography of the country. So, if we talk about this, for geodetic surveying, the size of triangle is large. Provide sufficient number of intersected points can be observed simultaneously. It covers the large and reduce the computation. In topographic survey, small triangles are used. The visibility and height of signals will limit the size of the triangle. Next is well-conditioned triangles. In a system of triangulation, the angles and the baseline are subjected to the errors of measurement. The accuracy achieved depends upon the shape of the triangle. The shape of the triangle should be such that the sides of the triangle computed with the measured angles are least affected by any error in the angle. Such a triangle is then called well-conditioned triangle. The triangles used in a triangulation system should be well-conditioned. Okay, so if we talk about this, in any triangle of triangulation system, the length of one side is known from the computations of the adjacent triangle. The error in the other two sides will affect the rest of the triangle. Due to accumulated errors, the entire triangulation system is thus affected. To ensure that the two computed sides of a triangle are equally affected, they should be equal in length, and this can be attained by making the triangle isosceles. Next is strength of figure. The strength of the figures in triangulation plays an important role. It is considered in establishing a triangulation system for which the computations can be maintained within a desired degree of precision. The accuracy of a triangulation system depends not only on the methods and precise instrument used in making observations, but also on shapes of figure in triangulation network. The strength of the triangulation system may be defined as the number which gives the least error in the computed length of the last line of the system due to the shape of triangle and the composition of the figures. So, in triangulation system, computation involves use of the angles of triangle and the length of a known side. The length of other sides are computed by the sine rule. For a given change in the angle, the sine of small angles change more rapidly than those of large angles. So this suggests that smaller angles than 30 degrees should not be used in the computation of triangulation. So here are important questions which can be asked in your examination, and it is very important, mainly the first two. So be sure you remember each and every theory very well, because it is very important module and very important theory. Okay. So here I end my session. Thank you all of you.